Hey, Dustin Hockensmith here with Greg Pickel. Another Penn State football video here for PennLive.com. Our subject, and this is a multi-part series, is players who need to be talked about more.
Yep.
What we're saying are players not to forget about. As all these other names pop up, we're going to look at the offense now. So you had names like Jawan Johnson, Jonathan Holland, Tommy Stevens was a big-time player in the blue-white game. But there are some veterans here, and for injury reasons or for the fact that we didn't see a lot of them in the spring, their names haven't come up, and we think that these are two guys whose names haven't come up enough.
Yeah, I'm going to start it off the bidding with safety Troy Apke. He's a guy that played a pretty good amount of football for Penn State last year. Marcus Allen was banged up a couple times. Malik Golden was banged up a couple of times. And he's not going to necessarily wow you. He's a guy that came in as a wide receiver to Penn State from Mount Lebanon out in Pittsburgh. And he was flipped over to defense when Penn State was looking a little iffy there in the depth department. And for the most part, he was okay. You know, there were some times when, you know, things looked like they were going to turn out poorly, and he got back and made a play. And I think that in the safety battle to start opposite Marcus Allen, there's a couple guys that have been flashy, Nick Scott, Aaron Monroe, and maybe they are the leaders in the clubhouse. But Troy Apke's the only one with experience, and you have to think that gives him a leg up heading into summer camp.
You threw me a little curveball. We're going defense. I mentioned offense earlier. Greg's like Troy Apke at safety. I think Curtis Cothran at defensive tackle. I think that his name has come up a reasonable amount, but with Kevin Gibbons there, with the jobs open at defensive end, those are kind of storylines that took away from, I think, how good Curtis Cothran can be. You saw it in the Big Ten championship game when he was just destructive from the inside. 3 tackles for loss in that game against Wisconsin. Started off the season with a suspension, didn't play the first 4 games. I think there was a little bit of an acclimation period. He moved from defensive end to defensive tackle last year. With a whole season, a whole off season, a little bit more stable start to the 2017 season. He's a guy who can just collapse the line. And to think about, number one, the rotation they have at defensive tackle, and then to think about an interior combination where Kevin Gibbons and Curtis Cothran are on the field at the same time. These are two guys who could both be in contention to lead the team, not only in tackles for loss, but in sacks. Curtis Cothran is a guy who I think could have a big-time year in 2017. He needs to be discussed a little bit more often. That's Greg Pickel. I'm Dustin Hockensmith. Given our sleepers are guys you shouldn't forget about in 2017 here on PennLive.com.